Hey, what's going on today? How you guys doing? This is Mr. Muscarella coming at you, and today we're going to learn about writing equations of circles. Now, in order to write equations of circles, we are going to need two pieces of information. The first is the location of the center of the circle. The second thing we're going to need is the length of the radius or the diameter. If we have those two key pieces of information, we're money. We can get this set up. Now, don't forget, the standard form for a circle is x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals r squared, because we can pull that center from the h and the k and pull the radius from taking the square root of r squared. Write the equation of the circle with center 7, -3, and a radius of 5. So here we are, the 7 and -3. And I'm going to write this out the long way just so we can kind of make sure we've got everything. So here's the general form right here. X minus h quantity squared plus, and then y minus k quantity squared equals r squared. So now the h and the k, remember, they're going to come from my center. So I'm going to have x minus 7, that quantity squared, plus y minus -3, that quantity squared, and I'm told that my radius is 5, so then I have 5 squared. Now I can't leave it like that, and that's a common mistake. So I want to make sure that I write x minus 7 quantity squared plus y minus -3 becomes y plus 3. So we have to make sure we change that, and then equals 25. Some people might be able to go right to that in their head. So that's the general form for this equation of the circle with a center at 7, -3, and a radius of 5. But what if you needed to write it in standard form? So if you've got to change it to standard form, be sure you check out my other video on converting between standard form and general form. Now let's go ahead and practice another example here. Write the equation for a circle with a center at -3, 0 and a radius of 2. So I'm going to skip right to this piece here. I'm going to have x minus and then -3, that whole quantity squared, plus and then y minus 0, that quantity squared equals 2 squared. By this point you can probably start to do a little bit of this in your head. So you're just going to have x plus 3, that quantity squared. Now here, if you have y minus 0 squared, you don't have to write y minus 0, all of that squared. You just write it down as y squared. And then 2 squared, of course, is 4. So there we go. That's it. We're done with that one, and we're moving on. Hopefully you don't have any questions on that, and that's pretty straightforward. The one thing you just have to make sure of is that you never write y minus 0, that quantity squared, as that. You just write it as y squared. All right. Then we got one more because I want to see what you guys can do with this one. Check it out. Here, we're given that the center is at -2, 7 and a diameter of 12. So a lot of people want to just jump right into this, and it's like, whoa, you got to be careful here because they tell you that the diameter is 12. So that means my radius is half of that. That's 6. So don't fall for that. Make sure you take your time and get that sorted out. The rest of it, once you get that sorted out, is pretty straightforward. By now, you can probably jump right to there and go x plus 2, that quantity squared, plus, and then y minus 7, that quantity squared equals, and then of course, now that we've got our radius all set, that'll be 6 squared. Now, again, don't leave it like that, 6 squared. Make sure you write down everything in simplified terms. So we'll have x plus 2 quantity squared plus y minus 7 quantity squared equals 6 squared is not 12. Don't even think about it because you know that's 36. Booyah. We're done with that and we out of here. Alright, so hopefully now you know how to write the equation of a circle when you're given information about its center and maybe the diameter or the radius. That's it for this video, and I'll catch up with you guys on another one later on. Peace.